yes.
Okay, and my last question is, if you were driving in the car with someone, with your friends, and they gave you the aux, what would you do?
Or when I'm riding with other people?
I'd be scared, for one.
Oh, man. So it honestly,
If I was in a car with a group of people,
what would I play? Depends on who's in the car with me.
My name is Boyd Doug Jones. I was born in 1951. We are the baby boomers. I grew up with a single parent mother. Baby brother got most of the attention. The older sister got attention because she was a girl. So I was sort of stuck in the middle. My mother was born in Virginia, so she grew up on country, western, and rhythm and blues. And music was, it taught us how to carry us, to how to speak. We learned a lot from just listening to the records. It taught you how to hold a conversation, how to approach another. I heard about how my father had treated my mother. So I grew up saying that I would make sure that I didn't emulate anything that my father did. I always opened the door for the ladies. I walked by the curve. Ladies were first, and you put women first in your life. So I started with my mother, and then it carried on from there.
okay, my name is Reyna Moore. I was born in 1947, and I am a baby boomer. I was raised by a single parent. We were very impoverished. My father died when I was 6, so I remember my mother struggling raising the 2 children. My mother was a great jazz lover, but I liked music, Temptations, the Four Tops, and as I got older, Teddy Pendergrass. I like music that tells a story, that has a meaning to it. There's some music that I hear that make me real emotional. I have a daughter, and I've said to her, when I die, I'd like to have my ashes spread where I grew up. Because as impoverished as I was, there were wonderful memories, and music was a part of that.
When my father passed away
About 8 years ago, I got all of his classical records from Pittsburgh and brought them to my house here in Baltimore. I listened to every single record every Sunday. It was like preserving memory, sort of, but also participating in something that he loved. My name is Sarah Jean Blanc.
I am William Patrick Alston Sr.
I was born in 1973.
1972. I'm considered a Generation Xer. Number one, music was a big
Part of our lives.
I love jazz.
I'm the fourth of 5 children. And we always had music on in the house.
Listening to the radio was there. Even the TV shows that came on TV had cool theme songs, you know. Everybody loved the Jeffersons, Good Times, good, you know. One of my favorite theme TV shows was called Family Ties, but it had the smoothest theme song called What Would We Do, Baby, Without Us? That thing was hungry.
My parents were like very adamant that we'd advocate for ourselves and not let anyone ever tell us that we couldn't do anything. Other people in the neighborhood would be paying people to do landscaping, and my dad would be like, you guys are going to learn how to cut down trees and chop them up and haul them away, you know, that kind of
You sang those TV show songs when they came on, you know, they were meaningful. They had something to do with sort of the subject matter of the show.
We were active members of our church growing up, so my dad was in the choir.
You had school clothes, you had play clothes, then you had church clothes. In the neighborhood in them days, everybody walked to school together. So your school clothes better be clean, better be pressed. Don't you come outside, we joke you. Oh, your shirt wrinkled. Ooh. Oh yeah, we would get you.
My older siblings would probably say that they had to follow a lot of rules, and since I was close to the end, I had to follow less rules probably, but...
Mom and Dad called you in the house when it was time to eat. Go tell your parents I'm gonna take you all the highs. And everybody, yeah! When your neighbors pulled up to come back from the supermarket, oh no, time out, stop the game, stop the tag game, stop baseball. Everybody go grab a bag out that trunk. Didn't have to ask. We're gonna walk it up the steps and help them in the house. Oh, we did stuff like that. The world that we knew changed around that time. Before the early 80s.
Okay, my name is Noonie Reddig. I was born in 1980.
I am a 80s baby girl.
My parents are baby boomers.
And I'm considered either a senior millennial or the generation that is in between the millennials and Gen X.
You know, once upon a time, I thought I was high tech because I had a VCR.
It is sort of astounding what I, as a child, had access to, which was in and of itself like so much greater than what my parents had access to.
When I was growing up, we didn't listen to the radio because it's like we had a choice. You know, it was expensive to buy music. You had to buy albums in, you know, cassette or record form. and later CDs.
So here's the thing. When I was going to go get an album,
I remember like every Friday, finding out like a new song would drop and going to the Wiz.
I went to like a Borders or a Barnes & Noble. They had these little kiosks and you could listen to a 30-second sample.
Get my 99-cent single or get the album.
And then you listened to that 30-second sample, you made the decision, and then you bought the CD.
I was very, very obsessed with Bob Dylan, Vanilla Ice. And then in high school, Nirvana, Courtney Love, Berg Assault, all of those. Like I remember like one song that blew my mind was Rakim and Eric B's song Paid in Full. Hearing these two different worlds of sound together was like, wow. When CDs came out, it was like, wow, this is a real luxury.
You have email, you have online chats and all that. So it was a cool thing if you type something on the computer and the computer typed back. Oh, snap. Is the robot for real? You know what I mean?
Hi everyone, my name is Abdullah Al-Namla.
I'm Daniela.
I'm Erica Matheny.
My name is Reyna Moore.
Daniel Cosby. I
was born in 2002.
2003.
2003. I was not really into music that much as a child, but I remember like one summer after 3rd grade, I spent hours on the computer just like going through like Disney Vivo and watching the music videos on there. So like Katy Perry.
I was really, really into Katy Perry. I had like a specific time during the day where I like just go to YouTube and like check music videos, like see as much as possible. I remember listening to Shakira's song, I forgot its name. Yeah, Waka Waka. Yeah. It wasn't just really listening, it was also watching.
I didn't know what Spotify and all that stuff was, so I would like listen to like radio music. Where I was, South Jersey, like Q102.1, and also I would like listen to like YouTube music. So like when I was like in middle school, I listened to like video game soundtracks and stuff. So I didn't really like develop my own taste in music until freshman year of high school.
My dad did not let me listen to secular music. Like I just was listening to whatever they allowed me to listen to.
I introduced myself to music.
That was like my first introduction, listening to my own choice of music rather than my parents. I was a very good child. I was very obedient, and so my parents never really had to discipline me that much. And my father said actually that he thinks values are caught rather than taught, which I don't necessarily agree. I do believe in a more proactive approach, I think.
Parents put pressure on their kids to, do well in school. I would say I was the one putting pressure on myself. For whatever reason, I decided my grades mattered to me. At points it would be them that were, like, calm down, it's just a grade.
I've mostly played sports throughout my entire childhood. I played on teams, I played for my school, I played for the Boys and Girls Club.
I wouldn't necessarily say that my parents actively were saying like, this is something that's important, you need to learn this, but rather they felt like modeling it was more important.
My dad is a pastor. He was a deacon at the time when I was growing up, but now he's a bishop. God, Christianity was like the focus of my whole childhood.
As a Muslim man, I feel like the values and the standards that my parents have taught me are based on Quran.
I probably just came from like a conservative, Protestant background.
At dining times, for example,
we definitely ate dinner together every day, and we would pray.
We have to like say Bismillah, which means in God's name. So like right before you start eating, and we also like have to eat using our right hand.
Say thank you for something, you know what I mean? So my dad didn't let me listen to it, but my mom would be like, all right, let's put some go-go on, let's listen to FM.
When you're younger, you don't change what your parents are playing. You don't change what the car is playing. You just sit there and you absorb it and you get used to it.
When my mom was home and usually like doing something, she will always have music in the background, whether she's cooking or just cleaning or just hanging about. She usually listens to R&B.
We're going straight to My Way from 1997. The first song that we're going to start with is none other than You Make Me Wanna, which is a very, very popular Usher song.
Or Beyonce, she's a big fan of Beyonce. So I was listening to that kind of music all day long.
My favorite song is Wanna Be Happy by Kirk Franklin. I just wanna be happy, but if I keep on doing the things. And I was struggling with like just being happy, like just waking up every morning like with a smile on my face.
I wanna feel like I'm floating without gravity.
Keep on doing the things that bring you joy. So that's why I sing every day.
I remember my favorite song when I was younger was Let's Groove by Earth, Wind & Fire, and I didn't realize how weird it was until I got older when all my friends were listening to One Direction. I was like, wait a second, so you guys don't like Boogie Wonderland?
There's kind of like an old rock band called Chicago that my parents like that I don't. You know, they use like brass and, you know, like trumpets and stuff.
There are all kinds of tools at their disposal. There's harmony and melody and rhythm and just so many things. There's timbre and texture and different instruments.
So as of late, I've really leaned into my dad's music taste. Older bands like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd. I love them. He was a metalhead in the 80s.
Many of us have a sense of how things should move. And songwriters are going to kind of play with that. So sometimes they're going to be like, okay, yeah, you think that it's going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And, oh, don't we feel comfortable? And then sometimes they're going to specifically go, oh no, I'm going to do this. And you didn't expect that harmony. And our ears are going to go, oh, something happened. My name is Kelsey Klotz. I'm a musicologist with a little bit of ethnomusicologist.
Student at the University of Maryland. I work at a movie theater.
Keyboard teacher at Baltimore City College.
Full-time student, but I also have a side job at a boating shop.
I'm the first person to go to college in my family, studying English right now.
I work in a high school to support 9th graders as they transition to high school.
Sophomore at the University of Maryland.
I'm a licensed clinical social worker.
I'm an artist, architect, and developer.
HR business partner and the head of DEI for FGS Global, which is a communications firm. Can I tell you, I think every generation probably goes through the same kind of changes, being concerned about, well, that generation does this, they don't get this. And I'm guilty of it now. And then I find myself being like, oh my gosh, you're acting really old.
That generation started, to me, the issue that we have today.
The millennials and the Z, oh, it starts with me. I'm not studying you old folks. Y'all are, they want to start now. They're in the now.
I don't know. For them, it's funny because like every millennial I've met only listens to like famous or trendy songs. She was like, oh, I want you to hear this song, and then she played Adele. Like I was like, oh, okay. I feel like she was gonna pull up something niche, you know, something like not familiar.
I think millennials have like a big ego.
What I have noticed with the youngest generation is a need to define and label things.
Black and white, because Drake, he says the N-word, he says F-word, cusses, he does.
Saying things like I'm his, whatever. They seem to copy everything off the music, which I think our generation did also, but we grew up with love.
This generation now doesn't have the interpersonal skills because of the vastness of the technology now.
It's just like I've never worked before, but like I feel like there's a lot of tension. There would be a lot of tension and stress.
The bulk of your time, which you'll come to find out, is spent at work. My name's Nicole Dade. I graduated with my bachelor's in communications from Frostburg State University. If you don't have good people, then you have nothing. Everything else will come.
You should be having fun in what you do, and if you're not, maybe you're doing the wrong thing.
Let the rigidity get in, and that's again something that Gen X on back towards baby boomers. We're rigid about everything. Everybody from the millennials to the zillennials, they're not as uptight, they're not as strict.
Architecture, office culture is 95% sweat and 5% creativity. At the end of the day, it's the inspiration and it's about having fun.
I think we're all like hardworking. Like at the end of the day, we just want to just live our best life. That's all around human thing.
People struggle with Gen Z often just because it's difficult for them to navigate in terms of social media and the way they move.
It's good to hear how other people do things, and it might not work for you, and that's okay.
Music is an expression of like, if you like it, you like it.
So it's hard for me to like prescribe onto the whole generation. It's really about that period of time where they're coming into their own, forming their own thoughts and opinions about who they want to be. And that's deeply personal.
Also, with any generation, in their early stages of work and development in a professional setting, that takes time.
There's something a little bit vulnerable in sharing a sort of aesthetic opinion.
I do listen to a fair amount of Radiohead. You can say what you want.
I still kind of listen to the radio a lot, like the Baltimore classical radio station. When your song that you like comes on by chance and not like purposefully, there is some sort of joy that just comes over you.
It is a different feeling. It's instant gratification. Lately, I've really been into Fiona Apple.
It's not my style, but if somebody else played it, some of her songs I do appreciate.
One of the things that I try to teach in my classes is this idea of critical listening. Part of critical listening is also just what is the person giving to us.
Old folks, big and stubborn and set in their ways, embrace and try to understand young people, and then vice versa.
I work at the school, and I'm outside, and I hear the kids, they'll curse, and I'll say, hey, but they will say, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones.
Things have changed, but actually, I like the changes. Things have changed for, to me, the better.
The ability now to just stream music makes it awesome. I don't think it detracts.
Everyone can be an innovator. And I think that we don't even know what the possibilities are yet.
Everybody functions, I think, differently with different music, and why it probably has really improved, because it improved what the workplace feels like to most folks, because you can like put on your headphones and like zone out, and it's not disruptive, and you get to listen to what you want to listen to, and I get to listen to what I want to listen to, and it's all good.
I think music is going to be fine. I think it's in good hands. I think we have brilliant minds out here, but we got to have patience for each other.
Go to the bottom of the house to mix.
I've been listening to it for a while. It's called I Think by Tyler, the Creator. I loved it.
Okay, yeah, the 21 Savage. There's a couple songs that I really like. Yeah, All of Me.
Stand on business, dot my I's and cross my T's. All I got is these little pictures when I think about all the G's. 21.
Right now, Snow on the Beach by Taylor Swift.
The album like Psychedelic Shack, like this there.
The Moment by Tame Impala on Currents.
It might be like the song I mentioned earlier from Radiohead, Full Stop.
The Barbie soundtrack.
I would play probably smooth jazz. If I was in the car,